Hi, y'all. My name is Jasmine Jones. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a therapist in the wild. This little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing Abbott Elementary, Season 3, Episode 11, Double Date. And we are sipping on, what is it, ginger ale and absinthe. Yes. I think this is called a coffee. I'm pronouncing it wrong most likely, but it's interesting how things are happening this evening. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the bombing that is happening to the Palestinians right now as they are being bottlenecked into the southernmost part of Palestine. And the city, Rafah, I believe that's how it's pronounced, that the Israelis said was a place of refuge for them, is actually now becoming an apocalypse. And they are bombing them as the Met Gala is going on. And the very interesting theme of, let me see, I put it on my phone. It's dreams and something. Let me see. Let's see, I believe it's dreams and nightmares, or the garden of time. And what is very interesting as this is happening right now is the theme for the Met Gala. Let me read it off to you. I'll also put a little side thing here. Is the dress code for the event is the Garden of Time, which was inspired by J.G. Ballard's 1962 short story of the same name, in which Count Axel and his wife live and listen to Mozart in a magnificent villa surrounded by a garden of crystal flowers as an angry and unruly army advances upon them to keep the approachable rabble at bay. Axel must turn back time by plucking the flowers one by one until they are all gone and there is no time left. Such an interesting theme for an interesting night where people are being massacred in their own apocalypse. And I find it also interesting because before tonight, this was going to be like a funny situation, and I will talk about the double date and all that towards the end of the video. But as tonight has come and I have seen certain things, I think the main story is the book club, because they are reading Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower, which is about an apocalypse that happens in 2024. Now, I don't have the actual book. These are my physical Octavia Butler books that I have. I believe I have the Parable of the Sower on my Kindle or my Nook app, one of those. And I read that like years ago, when I was in my early 20s. So I'm 37 now. So I read it in my early 20s. And I always categorize Octavia Butler books that I've read by either it's these ones, which are the tentacle aliens that want to repopulate the earth by bonding their genetics with us, or it's the one where the little vampire girl is in a relationship with this old ass man, but she's like has the body of 11-year-old fledgling. I don't really enjoy that. Or it's the apocalypse one. And so I remember reading the apocalypse one, but I was more shocked and appalled by the tentacle monsters and the little 11-year-old bodied girl that the story kind of floated out of my head. So I had to go to Wikipedia to read what the story, just a quick synopsis of what it's about. And it's very interesting that they chose this story for their book club in season 3, episode 11. Ava has a book club, and she has Barbara, Melissa, Mr. Morton, Mr. Johnson, and Cree Summers. I forgot what her character's name was, in the book club, and they're reading Parable of the Sower. And it's basically about an apocalypse that happens in the year 2024, and about this young woman that, lives in the apocalypse town with her brother and her dad, and a whole bunch of stuff happens where she ends up creating her own town based off of her own religion. and so on, so forth and whatever. But it made me think, like, we all worry about the apocalypse coming without realizing that there are people around the world who have already experienced or are currently experiencing an apocalypse, like the folks in Palestine tonight are currently experiencing an apocalypse. And I find it interesting that the theme of the Met Gala so perfectly encapsulates what the Palestinians are going through, and how they're all dressed up, like someone said online, they're all dressed up like Hunger Game characters while destruction and massacre is going on. And what's also interesting is that I even looked it up, because you know, when the famous people go to the Met Gala, they're all posting all day their outfits and stuff. I looked up each character for this show. None of them are at the Met Gala. And I believe Kenta was there last year. So, you know, you gotta get an invite or some shit like that. And I'm just wondering if the book club is a commentary on what's happening in Palestine and the apocalypse that these people have to experience. And at the very end of the show, how they were talking about how the cook from the cafeteria was talking about how we only can come together through our diversity. You know, like, everybody in the book club wanted to be their own leader in their own way. Like, Barbara wanted to be the religious leader, and Melissa wanted to be the unlawful leader, or whatever she wanted to be. Ava just wanted to be the leader that told everybody what to do and be in complete control. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the Cree Summer was just trying to get them all corralled together. And then they split off into their own little factions because they couldn't come together and actually lead together, not realizing that each diverse part of them makes up what a community is. Like, you know, people need religion. People need something outside of themselves to look up to and, you know, be attached to. They need Barbara, but Barbara could run that part of it, not the whole thing. They need Melissa. They need the tough one, the one that makes the tough decisions, but also they need Ava because she's the one that can be charismatic and get the people together to listen. You know, they need all of the things, but each one wanted to be the main person, and that's how they separated. And I thought it was really interesting. Like, they covered it up with comedy and jokes and all the people and all the things, but I just thought it was very interesting how they illustrated it if you just kind of look past the comedy of it and the silliness of it. And I am going to say that Kenta is out here just dropping hints and dropping, you know, like little tidbit. And I just feel like it is. I feel like, and just the fact that, like, as far as I know so far from when I looked on each character's Instagram, they're like each actor's Instagram. As far as I know so far, none of them have shown up to the Met Gala. None of them have posted pictures from the Met Gala. And I just wonder, like, you know, this is like the silent, very silent protest so that they don't get their show taken off the air kind of protest. I'm wondering, I'm just curious, you know, and, you know, it could have been filmed way ahead of time and stuff like that, but I don't know. Some sitcoms are filmed the same week, you know, and so I'm wondering, are they filming this ahead of time, filming it the same week? Who knows? But I just feel that it perfectly just kind of lined up. But this has been going on since October. Well, this has been going on since 1940 something, but it just kind of perfectly lined up with what's been going on and what's happening this evening. And so yeah, I mean, I thought that whole, like, before today, I was just like, you know, Gregory over here, he's irritating me. So we'll get to that, but, like, I just needed to say that. I don't care what nobody thinks. You can come on my page and bullshit and say some Zionist type shit or whatever fuck you want to say. That's views, honey, because you see I ain't got that many. So you know what? If they want to come over here and Zionist out and give me more views so I can get more money, it is what it is, because I haven't said anything anti-Semitic. This has nothing to do with religion, because there are Jewish Palestinians. There are Jews out there that are protesting at these schools for Palestinians. So this has nothing to do with religion at all. This has to do with a group of people that are colonizers and that want power and control and want to genocide and take from these people, like they haven't learned from their ancestors what that looks like. And you know what? I just feel like your ancestors are watching, honey. And I just, I don't know, like that. You can't be messing with spiritual shit like that. God bless you. But most importantly, God bless the Palestinians. God bless the Congolese, the Haitian, the Sudanese. God bless us all. Because I am exhausted, and this is the little part that I could do to call it to attention, the little bit of viewers that I have, to just say something, because I just feel helpless right now as women, children, babies, non-binaries, old, young, are being cornered off into a little town and bombed to death at this very moment. And there's absolutely nothing to do. And our tax dollars have paid for the destruction and massacre of these people. And there's nothing so, fight the power. That's all I can fight the power that be. Because I'm tired. I am exhausted. Well, that's that's the little serious part, And, if you ain't with it, you ain't with it. It's none of my business. You are okay with killing babies. That's none of my business that you're okay with killing little babies and things. So anyways, let's talk about this date. So, one last piece. Now it makes me want to just take notice of the famous folks that didn't show up to the Met Gala. I just feel like, Rihanna suddenly having the flu, like things like that. Like, I wonder, is this like a little silent protest? Is this like, because the theme matches perfectly what's happening, being cornered, being destroyed, having nothing left, and dressing up like Hunger Game characters while people are going through things. It's just blind. It's blind. You just blind people, and it's, whatever though. Anyway, let's talk about this double date. So Jacob is going out with the security guard, is he a security guard from the district? I think he's a security guard or EMT or something. And I think he's an EMT, because he is double dating with this Asian girl. And he invites Gregory, and I swear I was sitting up here eating my snacks. And I looked down, I heard them say double date, and I was like, oh, is Gregory going to ask you to eat out? And so I look down to get a snack and eat it, and I look up, and he's talking to this Asian bitch. And I'm just like, who is this? Who is this Asian bitch? And so, like, she's sitting there talking to this Asian bitch, and I'm just like, and then they're giggling about gory shit. And I'm just like, is this his double date? No. And so they're on the date, right? And I'm just like, ugh. And then all of a sudden, Gregory sees Janine in her freakum dress sitting across the way. And then here comes Manny. And he's like, is Janine and Manny on a date? And I'm just like, no, nigga. You said you put a pin, boop, in that shit right there. You put a boop pin in that motherfucking shit. And I just was like, how, because he went over there and asked 21 questions. And girl, I kept saying that song, like, girl, you didn't even love me now, down and out, when you still have love for me. I was like, nigga, stop asking him questions. I wanted to be the filter in his mind that he obviously lacked, because I'm just like, how you sit here asking all these questions, but then earlier in the season you put a pin in it, like, and so I'm just like, I guess people, even if you got autism, sometimes you can just lie to your fucking self about how you feel, and it just feels completely real until you actively realize that you about to lose something or someone, and I'm just like, nigga, do you sit up here and dissociated from how you felt about her? What happened? Like, because you said you sure is admitting it now once you see her with somebody. I'm tired. The nigga is autistic. I don't care, because he went over there. He was sitting up there staring at him for a good smooth 30 minutes to an hour. I'm sure it was. The time lapse of a TV show, but I'm sure it was 30 minutes to an hour. And then this Asian bitch sitting next to him trying to get his attention. I'm like, girl, after the first 10 minutes of him staring at that bitch, I would have just ordered me some hot wings and been like, okay, well, I'm not going to go to dinner with y'all, but let me get me some hot wings to go so I can. No, because it's not me. Like, obviously, he is not going to choose me. So why would I be wasting my time talking about, oh, Gregory trying to make up conversation pieces? This nigga is sitting there, like, all up in Janine's mouth, like, oh. And then looking at Manny's beard, like, oh, his beard. Like, would you date me if I had a beard? Like, girl. And then Manny gets up and goes sits next to Janine. And then, like, here come Eric and, what's her ex name? The weird nigga that got some kind of impediment or some shit. Anyways, he gets up and goes sits next to Janine. Here come Erica. And they just sitting there talking, right? And then Gregory like, is Erica and whatchamacallit dating? And she's and Jake was like, I don't think so. I think whatchamacallit still dating that parent. And I'm just like, girl, what is you doing? What is you doing? And then this nigga, like, Manny leans across to Janine to, I don't know what he was about to do, but to Gregory's eyes, it looked like they was about to kiss. This nigga gonna stand up and be like, oh, just like, oh, Janine. I was like, nigga, what is, the whole bar, the whole situation looked at him. And I'm just like, why would you, what? And he goes over there and just starts going down the list of 21 questions. Oh, well, are y'all on a date? Oh, are they on a date? Who's on a date? Why you wear your dress? And then he's like steepling his hands on his cup. Like, I don't know if he's stimming or whatever. I was like, what? Oh my gosh. And then like you can see he's spiraling. So here come Jacob to try to be like, just to try to relieve him of whatever the fuck kind of spiral he's going through. And I'm just like, Jacob, why didn't you go over there early? See, I'm tired. I mean, at least he went eventually. Jacob, girl, why didn't you stop your friend from going over there? Because he was loud. But then why didn't you go over there with him or something? I don't know. I'm Jacob's date, though. That nigga at the end was like, oh, this was the best date ever. Your friend is fucking messy. And I was like, yes. He was bitch, girl, that's me. I'll be sitting up there watching this nigga shame himself in front of these people and just be laughing inside like, wow, does he know we can see him? Does he know we can tell what his emotions are? Like, does he not know what's okay? And so he goes over there and he gets his homie, and then Gregory's just sitting down like, he just looks dumb. So then they was waiting for the table for next door, right? But then like Gregory, of course, overlooked the table. So then he was all like, oh, well, we can just re-register for a new table. The Asian girl is already done with him. I'm surprised she sat there for as long as she sat there, because nigga, it wouldn't be me. I'm not about to do this. I'm about to go hit up a drive-thru and get the fuck home. Like, I'm tired. You ain't about to sit up here and embarrass me for a good hour and a half and shit, and me trying to get your attention. I'm not gonna get your attention, honey. And so like he's all apologizing to her, and she getting up and leaving, and he's like, oh, well, maybe we can try again. Gregory, no, shut up. And she's like, oh yeah, sure. And he's like, oh really? Like, and then she was like, yeah, if you get in an accident or some shit, maybe we can see each other again. Cause she's like an EMT or some shit. And she walk out, this nigga standing there looking stupid. I'm just like, I know, honey, I know. And then him and Jacob later on is in the little teacher's lounge and shit. And like Janine come in like talking about, oh, Gregory, can I use the flowers from your garden because the ones that they gave me from the district are wilted and shit. Like Gregory was literally having a fucking panic attack in that motherfucker. He was all like, well, maybe them flowers were from Manny too. And I'm just like, girl, you love me now, when I was down and out with you still. Oh gosh, he was so embarrassing. I just was like, shut up. Every time he asked the question, I was just like, shut up, nigga, what did you do? Oh, and I was just like, he's autistic. No, but your beard. I'm always gonna remember that part. But your beard. What about his beard? He been had that beard since he first walked into the school. What are you talking about, sir? Did you not notice the beard? Now the beard is in connection with Janine, so now he notices the beard. Like, I'm just, girl, you down and out. Would you still? That's 21 questions. And so, like, he's all like, and then Janine walks out of the teacher's lounge after asking him for some flowers and shit. And then, like,
like, Jacob just looks at him and he's just like, I know. Jacob's like, you know, he's like, I know. What are you going to do? And he's like, I don't know. I know you don't know. You could be all open. The bitch came up to you and said she liked you, nigga. Like, I'm confused. You just sat up there and lied to yourself. She verbally said, you just sat up there and said, no, she doesn't want to be with me, even though she said it out her mouth. So, because she said one time that she didn't want, because she wanted to find herself, and then she took the time to find her fucking self, and now she, after finding herself and seeing that you're still single, she said, okay, well, you know, I'm ready. And you set your ass up there and said, no, well, I thought we had put a pin in there, boo, bitch. What is you? I could have lost her. Could have. You better be glad she like you too. I low-key feel they waiting on each other. I low-key feel Janine just waiting on his ass to get his shit together. You know, just niggas be emotional. Like, niggas just be, why are you so emotional? So I don't know. I just hope that they get together and then they have little chocolate babies and it's magical. And like, who knows? They probably gonna leave us on a cliffhanger because they keep dragging it. Like, at this point, like, what plot are you gonna make up to not have them be together? What other plot are you gonna make up to keep them from being together? Because I'm tired. I am. I'm exhausted. Like, just be together. Just, what's the problem? What is it? Gregory, get your shit together. Girl. So I don't know what's about to happen in the next episode. It's supposed to be like 3 left, I think, because it's only like 14 this season because it's a short season. Somebody said it started in February and shit. I done forgot when it started. Girl. And so, like, I don't know. I don't fucking know, but like, they need to hurry this shit up because they need to get together. I don't know. They're gonna make up some other plot. They can make up some other plot. They don't gotta just be like not together and that's the plot. Like, come on, girl. And I like that Janina's back, and I like that they have these undercurrent messages, these political messages and shit like that, because Parable of the Sower is very political. Oh, I love this. I love it because it just takes me back to that nigga that commented on my video talking about why you have to make things so political. No, the whole show is fucking political. You just have to look past the comedy, you stupid piece. Because Parable of the Sower is very political. Most of her books are very political, except for that fledgling one. Why has she got an 11-year-old's body and you very descriptive about this grown-ass man touching on all her little 11-year-old parts? That's the only one that I had to side-eye Octavia Butler and be like, girl, did something? I hope you're at peace. And now in the afterlife, because that read like how I read some of Anne Rice's books, and there's a lot of little children touching in Anne Rice's books, and I just be like, girl, did something happen to you, girl? Cause it's like every other book, some little child is getting touched on by a grown ass fucking man, and usually when you have a fixation on some shit like that, some usually might have. It's none of my business, but that's the only book. I'll just be side-eyeing her and just being like, girl, and I'm glad that motherfucking Predator Drake ass is being caught up. I'm glad. Now we just need to get Chris Brown. No, because there's a timeline and on him, there's a whole timeline of him hurting people. Like, Carucci has a lifetime restraining order against that nigga for a reason. We ain't even talking about Rihanna no more. This nigga he got in an argument with Tiana Taylor last year at a skating rink at Usher's birthday, nigga, and he was angry and aggressive and shit. Like, he keep doing shit and nobody's paying attention, and one day he may unalive somebody and it would just be so horrible because we keep seeing this shit and nobody gives it. Like, when niggas is escalated in their aggression and then they don't have any consequences to it, they just get worse until one day somebody's not here anymore. And it would have been prevented if people would have just paid the fuck attention. Like,
But you know, we put these famous people up on fucking pedestals like they're God or some shit. And I feel bad for some of them because some of them are just regular ass nice people living their lives and shit. Just love to do art. Just like doing art and shit. And niggas is looking at them like they ain't human beings. Like they don't get anxiety and depression and they ain't got trauma and they don't question themselves and shit like that. I would hate that because if I was famous, you still gonna get this bitch. Like, no, I'm not giving you an autograph. I'm trying to go get Trader Joe's and they gonna write all up and down how I'm a bitch and I ain't gonna give a fuck. And I'm gonna, every time they interview me and I allow it, I'm gonna be like, well, I was trying to go to the grocery store. My social media was not where they wanted it to be, and it wasn't gonna be, and they wouldn't leave me alone. Like, I don't understand. You know, I'm neurodivergent. I don't socialize like that. I like to do art and shit, and it's fun, but that ain't got shit to do with me signing autographs to random people. Like, you want me to go up to the McDonald's cashier and ask him for an autograph every 5 seconds because he makes the best Big Mac? And that's what it is. It's going up to the motherfucker that work at Target and being like, can I get your autograph? And following him around the fucking store like a fucking weirdo and shit while they restocking the fucking aisles and shit. Like, that's basically what, and I just feel bad for the regular ones because it's like, that's because they're the ones that go the craziest and they want to kill them, be unalive themselves because apparently you can't say certain shit on here or they block your shit or unmonitor. I don't know what they do. And them the ones that be unlike like Marilyn Monroe and shit. Like, you know, like that ain't it. That's not it. That's not it. Like, these are people and they are capable of the best and the worst of us, just like every fucking body else. That we could have a famous person out there that's Jeffrey Dahmer in the basement of their mansion, and you just don't know about it because they're rich enough to keep it hidden and secret and shit. We could have, like in the horror movies where they got the black market where they sell people body parts just so rich people can like try eating people and shit. That shit could be very much real because you but on a bigger, grander scale when you got money and shit. So it's the same shit, only you not in some raggedy ass apartment in the hood. You in a fucking 5-star secret restaurant in some back alleyway and shit that don't nobody know about with secret codes and secret doors and shit. But it's the same mentality and shit. So I don't understand. No, so yeah, they're horrible people. Some of them are horrible, just like some people in your family are horrible people. Just like some of your former friends and your co-workers and your supervisors are horrible people. Just like some of the niggas that you've experienced in your life are horrible people. The famous people have the capacity to be horrible people too. So yes, them niggas and to have the timeline and the evidence. I just feel like, and then the niggas that was hanging out with Drake but knew that he was up here kissing 17-year-olds on their cheek on and being filmed by it, and then after the bitch told you she was 17 on stage, you still go on to say she got some nice titties and some nice, so you didn't know, but then when you did know, you still, girl, and then niggas was seeing this because they was doing it too, and I just feel like and if you wasn't doing it too, then why was you around this nigga? Because it makes you look bad. It does. It makes you look like, oh, we like fucking 16, 15-year-old children too. Because if you look back to the age you were and the mentality you had at 15 and 16-year-old, there's people that are saying it's okay. Look back to the mentality you had as a 15, 16-year-old, not barely knowing really anything about how people can take advantage of you and do fuck shit to you and take control of your body, still not knowing much about the world. And then imagine some 30 fucking year old nigga coming into your life trying to talk to you and trying to be sexual with you and trying to say they're your best friend. He was texting Millie Bobby Brown when she was 14, 13 and shit, and she was interviewing on television as children do because she didn't fucking know. Oh, Drake's my best friend. I know, girl. I know he told you that. He's nice because he wants to be around you. It's fucking weird. It's creepy. It looks bad. And so, you know, they say this is the year of truth. I hope the truth sets us free. I hope the truth sets the Palestinians free. I hope the truth sets the world free from white supremacy and from predators and from misogynoir. I don't want to just hear the fucking truth. I want to see change. I need to see change because right now hundreds of thousands of people are being massacred and destroyed in some plotted out bottleneck situation. And I just cannot. Like, the truth is right there in everybody's face, and niggas is acting like it's not real. Like, these students are telling y'all what's happening, and y'all, and a lot of folks is out there like, oh no, like, what is you, these are people, these are human beings. The Congolese is over there in camps and shit, the Sudanese, what's going on? I just feel like ever since the Roman Empire tried to take over Europe, ever since the Crusades, ever since slavery, they've been mad at black. I really do believe that Europe was mad at black people because the Moors came from Africa for a few hundred years and took over Europe and brought them education and bathing. And then they took over Spain and became king and queen of Spain for a minute and shit. And they was so mad at all them black people being more educated and better than them and taking over their shit that's how slavery started. That's how Christopher Columbus was Spanish, and they had a black king and queen for a minute when the Moors came, and that's how slavery started. That's how it started, and they was mad. And so then there was slavery. Then there was the civil rights movement. Then it was, what is it, World War I and II and shit. They ain't left us alone. People keep saying, oh, why is this happening today? Nigga, they ain't left us the fuck alone. Colonization and shit was up in there somewhere. They ain't stopped. They haven't stopped. We have not had a decade since before the Romans tried to take over Europe. We ain't had 1 decade free of these fucking white supremacy people. That's why we're all, as people of color, traumatized. That's why we haven't had 1 second where we could breathe and like be able to pay rent and have a roof over our head and go on vacations and relax and just have time. And we ain't had nothing. And that's why everybody's on the edge. Everybody feels overwhelmed. Some people feel like they got to copy the white people. That's not going to work, honey. They're just going to use you till there's nothing left, and they're going to throw you in the gutter like the rest of them. Girl, like, you can't copy them. And so I'm tired. I am. Like, this was supposed to be funny. It wasn't. So some people is gonna be like, why are you making this? Because it is. Like, read the parable of the fucking sower, bitch. These people are going through an apocalypse right now. There are starving people in the world. That's their apocalypse. There are little apocalypses happening right now all over the world, and nobody cares. They just waiting for the fucking meteorite to hit the shit, or the zombie apocalypse that's going to destroy the whole entire world. Because if white Western countries aren't destroyed, then the apocalypse hasn't happened yet in most people's minds, and that's some bullshit. A bitch is tired. A bitch is tired. So that's my review. It got serious. It got deep, and so it is what it is. God bless the Palestinians, the Sudanese, the Congolese, the Haitians, all of them in the world, in the multiverse. Everyone that's being oppressed because it ain't right. It ain't right. And I hope that they get these two people together and think of different plots now, instead of like having the whole plot be around is they will, they won't, they. Like, no, they will. They like each other. They just being stupid. Like, get together. Hurry up. Anyways, I hope whoever enjoyed this enjoys it. I hope that you take a moment to just say a prayer for these people out here that are being massacred right now. God bless them. And there's nothing we can do at this point unless some brave people want to do some shit that probably would be considered terrorism. And I ain't gonna say it because they're gonna come for me, because I'm not brave enough to do that shit. But you know what? At this point, that's all that can happen, to send a whole message around the whole fucking shit. Like, I don't know what else to do to stop these white people from killing us. So, it is what it is. So, I hope you enjoyed this, and you know, you learned some stuff, and I helped to educate you on some stuff that they ain't talking about in the mainstream media. You got to look this shit up and follow certain pages and do all this other digging for yourself, and a lot of people ain't gonna want to do all that shit. So you know what, I hope that it reaches some people that didn't think to look it up. Now they can look it up for themselves. So you know what, I hope you enjoy, and later days.